Activists are sounding the alarm after two people locked in local jails died recently. So why are inmates dying in places that are supposed to be secure and have medical help nearby? Louisiana First News reporter Deshaun Johnson joining us live in studio. And Deshaun, you spoke to leaders about this. What do they say needs to happen?
Christina, they are calling for accountability. They say that will help save lives, and those lives need to be saved regardless of what they've done.
If you ask the majority of the family members, what we want is transparency and accountability.
Linda Frank knows all too well the pain of losing a loved one suddenly, but this death is different.
In 2015, my son Lamar Johnson was pulled over for a traffic ticket in Baker. He was taken to the East Baton Rouge Parish prison, and 4 days later, he was found hanging in his cell.
Frank, along with other families who lost loved ones locked in jail, says she wants jails and prisons to handle inmate deaths better. In the past few days, inmates have died in East Baton Rouge and West Baton Rouge, causing concern on how those sitting in jail are being treated.
What were the conditions that led up to this happening, and how was it allowed to persist to the level that it has? For the numbers that we have, since we started counting in 2012, there's been over 80 deaths in that jail. And so you have to ask yourself that this is not a one-off.
Cherie Thomas with the Justice and Accountability Center of Louisiana says for a long time, she's asked the same questions.
East Baton Rouge having the highest number of deaths per capita in the nation. And so we realize that this is not an isolated incident for West Baton Rouge, but we definitely need to identify how the deaths are occurring in custody.
Thomas works to help those in jail turn their lives around, but she also tries to save them from harm inside prison walls. She helped pass legislation in 2023, seeking to get more information about what's going on behind bars in front of the public.
There are no set policies for reporting deaths for jails in Louisiana. And so once we obtain more data, we can look at the trends and be able to identify where the problems are and how the solutions can be most effective.
Frank says it's love that keeps her going to continue fighting for justice for her son and those who also suffered in jail. She says if the public knows more, then people can help stop the issue before it gets worse.
The community has to be involved in demanding that those in administration, the sheriff, the Metro Council, be held accountable for the conditions and the treatment of the citizens that they are paid to protect while they are waiting their day in court.
Cherie Thomas and Linda Frank say they'll continue advocating for change and working with those still in jail to give them resources and help. In studio, Deshaun Johnson, Louisiana First News.
Cherie Thomas says they've waited for months to get reports about how prison deaths are handled.